Good afternoon. My name is Paula Bruno, and I'm here to talk to you about our professional learning communities here at the Sylacauga City Schools, and we're going to be specific to the Sylacauga City Schools District. Well, let me go back for just a moment and let me explain to you this logo that's on our title page. This is our virtues that our beliefs are here at Nichols-Austin Middle School, and so we center everything that we do around the theme of champions. And each one of the letters for champions depend on a different virtue. So that's our whole professional learning community that we're trying to instill here at Nichols-Austin Middle School, is to have this overarching goal of being champions by using these 9 virtues here. And we also have our system-wide logo, which is College Career Community, and that's our driving force, what we strive to do every day for our students. And our motto here is commitment to excellence, because there's always room for improvement, but we want to make sure that we're achieving excellence as we go through. So the big ideas of the professional learning communities are to ensure that all students learn, to make sure that we're trying to incorporate curriculum and activities and things like that for our teachers and students that would help promote learning for all of the students. We also want to create a culture for collaboration, because we want to make sure that you can learn a lot of things by just talking to other people, talking to other schools, talking to other community members, talking to other places of employment and things like that to learn new information. So we want to create this culture where people are able to talk and collaborate with each other while in the professional learning community. And then we also want to make sure that we base our information upon data. That way we're making sure that we're promoting growth, we're ensuring that we have growth for the students, we have growth for our staff, and things like that. So here are 6 steps that we're using for our professional learning communities. You have first, study the information, study the things that you want to happen for your system, study the things that you want to happen for your school. You have to make sure that you do all your research to ensure that everything goes as planned. Then you select what matters most, and then you'll see we have a tiered process where, in May we take a group of things that we feel like worked well, what didn't work well, and then we select things that we want to really focus on when we're thinking about our professional learning committee. So here you want to select things or select areas that you feel would be areas of improvement. Once you do that, you plan, you set up a pacing that you would like to do to ensure that you meet every component in the selection process. And then once you go here to plan, you scoot all the way down here to implement or implementation, and this is where you put your plan into action. And so in months of August through May, we're in the implementation stage where we are really working out that plan, and we're really seeing what works and what does, and we're collaborating with others and things like that to implement, to make sure that we are focusing on ensuring the best or the quality for our professional learning community. And then once we've implemented, those two kind of go hand in hand, because after you're doing the implementation process, then you're analyzing, you're looking at it, you're seeing what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then once you do that, you adjust your professional learning community. So at the end of the year, we take a survey and we say what works, what didn't work, what do you want to know next, how do we move forward, how do we make this stuff better, and then we start all the way back over again. We come up with new ideas, and then we study the information, we try to do another process. So these are the 6 steps to ensuring a quality professional learning community that we use here at the Sylacauga City School System. So the best practices for a professional learning community. So we think here at the Sylacauga City School System, we think that your culture supports your collaboration. And what that means is that the environment, how can this information suffice when we are working together? What does it feel like? Do you have a positive working environment? Do you have people who are willing, who have one main goal, and that's student success? You have to make sure that you create a culture that's conducive for learning and also for collaboration. Next, you see what are the viewpoints of the school. You think, what exactly do I want for my mission of my school? And then once you do that, then you share your beliefs, your vision, what are your goals for the school. And once you do all those things, then that puts in the best practices for your school. Next, we go back to this information of the collaboration. So what does this really look like? The collaboration, I like to start here with the overarching idea, because you come up with an idea that you want to encompass everything. And then you get in the culture piece where you're talking about creating a positive culture, and you help them to realize that we don't make excuses for things that we cannot control. Yes, students come to us and they don't know how to read. Yes, students come to us and they're from low socioeconomic areas, but we can't make excuses for that. We can only ensure what we can do here. So as you're working on your professional learning communities, we don't want excuses, we want possibilities. So then you stay positive while you're doing that, because you want to make sure that you have the correct environment so that all students can learn. And so we're going back to what is it that we really want for our professional learning communities, and we want an idea of how to make it better. We want a positive culture. And then we look for the newest thing, and we see how does it fit here in our school, how does it fit in our system, and then if it works, we create a vision and we put it into play. So then you have our objective view. What is it that we're really looking for? You have someone on the outside as a facilitator, or someone on the inside as a facilitator that would kind of not be biased to perceptions that are within the school. So you communicate your idea with someone else. And then you have teachers who can be leaders within the school system, because it's almost like students in the classroom. You know how sometimes a teacher can say different things in the classroom and you think, oh my gosh, I've said this 1,000 times and they still don't get it. But if you put teachers in roles as leaders, then you feel like that the other teachers in the building might listen more if it comes from another one of their colleagues instead of from administration. And then you look at it from the balcony view. You sit back and you look at all the possibilities that could happen. So next we move on to our shared beliefs and behavior. And so these are the things that you communicate with other people. You want to make sure that you're open for discussion. You're open to ensure that you have listened to all the possibilities for ensuring a professional learning community. And then make sure that you're respectful and considerate, because this promotes the positivity for your professional learning community. So when you put those two together, the collaboration piece and the positivity piece, you will get open discussion and respectful and considerate quality questions. So you have the faculty and staff stakeholders, and this is where it's important. And if you notice, we have, I told you at the beginning slide, we talked about our college career community. Well, this kind of fits into this idea right here, because we want to incorporate everyone. We don't want it just to seem like it's just coming from within the school. We want to make sure that this spreads out into the community. So we want other schools to come and visit. We have a program here at Nichols-Lawson that's a part of our professional learning community, where we're promoting our dyads, where we're working closely with special ed and a regular classroom teacher, and we wanted to show growth in those areas where we have a high special ed population. And so other schools are coming to visit our school to see how that works and see the planning process. So that's how we're incorporating that professional learning community. Then we also have other classrooms coming to visit other teachers' classrooms, because you may see some things that one of your colleagues does, and then once your colleague sees it, then they may carry it over to their classroom. And then the community comes in. We like to have community involvement, so then we want to make sure that the community is able to see the good things that are going on here at Nichols-Lawson as a part of our professional learning community. And so here's our process. I was talking about this before. You come up with a plan. What do you need to work on? And you reevaluate yourself in May. And here are some things, these are some things that you put together and you try to see what is it that can make the school year better for the upcoming school year. So then you create and you begin your professional learning community process in August. And then you create from September to May, you start going down and you create like a track that you will follow from September to May. But more than likely you're meeting once a month on those professional development days to where you can meet with your cohorts or communities to ensure this process. And then in May, you analyze your data. You see what works, what didn't. And then you start this process all the way over again. And during the process, you're collaborating with teachers and staff to make sure that you're seeing growth in those professional learning communities. So here's some references that I use to research the information to see what works and how we did incorporate this into our into Nicholas Lawson, into Sylacauga City Schools, and what works for us. And our professional learning communities are very important for us because we feel like this is professional development to help make us better. Thank you for listening.